This podcast was inspired by an internship with the Museum of Motherhood. Please visit mommuseum.org for more information about the museum, to find out how you can get involved, and to help us strengthen our wonderful community of mothers. Again, that is mommuseum.org. Thanks for listening.
Hi, I'm Bethany.
And I'm Amanda.
And we're sisters. We are both toddler moms, but we have very different experiences of motherhood.
So, we are on a mission to talk to different moms who all have different experiences.
With a whole lot of laughter, tears, and probably coffee, we embark on a journey to experience motherhood through the eyes of others.
Please join us on this journey as we explore motherhood through funny, loving, and very real memories.
This is Mom Talks with My Sister.
Hello!
Hello, world. How are you?
Well, I'm going to answer for them and say great.
And by world, I mean like the 5 people that are listening right now. What's
Yay!
up?
So can I just tell you that every time we get on here and I go, hello, do you know what I think of?
Who?
Grandma Meredith.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Seinfeld because that's what I go to. But Grandma Meredith, yes.
But she probably got it from Seinfeld. So I think you're right as well.
Yeah, because her and her sister, our Aunt Debbie, she loves Seinfeld. So I feel like if Grandma said it that way, then that's because her and Aunt Debbie probably watched it together. That's what I'm going to go with.
I'm going to say you're probably right, because that's something I very much remember from her was Seinfeld. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's why you liked it so much. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I don't dislike Seinfeld. It just was not like I've never been a big sitcom person. Right. So, but you and Corey, you guys have that like connection, that Seinfeld connection. I will say every now and again I do pull through with a solid Seinfeld reference, and I surprise you and Corey. So.
Yes, and I think it's hard to not have a Seinfeld reference. I mean, I guess, kids like nowadays, they like have gotten into like older sitcoms, like The Office got really big. I don't really know if Parks and Rec, like.
No, you know what came back hard? Friends. Friends is coming back so hard right now. I saw a girl walking around campus the other day with this Central Perk shirt on. And I was like, yeah, this is definitely coming back around.
Yeah. I don't know if Seinfeld is just too far past this generation, because like Friends was like cool. I don't know, but like there wasn't like when I was younger, Seinfeld was still on, but like I was not at the age to like enjoy it. I think it was funny. But when I was in high school, I'd get home from school and every day on the regular, like I was like on Fox, like the regular channels, it would be on, and I had the little 13-inch black and white double dial, like with the antennas, like that I would, and I would watch Seinfeld because I loved it, and it was like a part of my afternoon routine, But those are the days.
I think the difference with Friends is that it's relatable in that friendships don't really change. And I know Seinfeld had friendships in it too, but I think like technologically it's advanced past Seinfeld. Like, it was much more relevant to the world versus Friends being relevant to a small group of people.
You are 1,000% correct on that. Yeah.
So, I think it's just Seinfeld didn't age as well.
Yeah, because a lot of it had to do with like what you said, the times. Yeah. Look at that. We had a little banter on Seinfeld. Who knew that this is what we're going to start with today?
Right? All from hello. Well, off of Seinfeld, I guess, we could take a fun route with that and say the dingo ate your baby. And then talk about our babies.
Oh, babies. How about you start with your mom moment?
So my mom moment is, it happened this evening, actually. It's very short, but I laughed so hard. I was changing my son's diaper, and every time he poops, he goes, "Oh, stink." And I'm like, "Yeah, stink." So I'm changing his diaper tonight, and he's going, "Oh, stink." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, buddy." And he goes, "Shit." And I said, "Did you just say shit?" And he just looks at me and he has this big smile on his face. I said, "Ryan, did he just say shit?" And Ryan goes, "He probably did." I was like, "Where did you learn the word shit?" He goes, "Stop saying it." And I was like,
I think you answered your own question.
I know, right? I know. But I swear to God, it was clear as day. And I don't know if he maybe it wasn't. Maybe that's not what he said because he's still babbling and, struggling with his words. But I swear to God, clear as day is what I heard. And it was hysterical because it's one of those things where how can you be mad when you're using it in context? I can't be mad.
Great.
You
I'm very
nailed it,
proud of
buddy.
you. I'm very proud of you. This may be an adult word, but you, sir, have used it properly.
Oh, I was cracking up. So other than that, that's what I got for tonight.
love it.
A quick and easy one.
It's perfect because mine, it's so funny because we go into these not knowing what each other's mom moments are. And mine is also from tonight, oddly enough, which is weird. But we have little like mommy daughter like spa moments, and I don't want to call them like days because we're a toddler, but we'd had a little girls evening where we did little pedicures, and it was actually really funny because she had gone into like where I keep all my nail polish, and she had grabbed two of them and she put them out, and then she just had like the pink one in her hand. And so I paint her fingernails, and this is like, I know that this is very big in the world right now, and this is not intentional because I have always called this color this, but it's like the perfect Barbie pink. And
Okay.
yeah, and I know it's like a big thing in the world right now, but like this is what I've always called this color, and I love this color. But she picked it out, and so we did her nails, and then I'm going to do her toenails, and I paint her first big toe this color, and she was like, "No, mommy." And I'm like, what do you mean no? And she's like, "The purple one." And I like looked over and I was like, "Oh, you know what? That's my bad. You pulled out the purple one and I just disregarded it entirely." So I had to take it off. I mean, obviously it's still wet, so it just came right off. But I was like, "Excuse me, I'm sorry."
I messed up. Okay, but I do have a question.
Yep.
Are you wearing my shirt?
No. Is this recorded?
Are you sure that's not my shirt?
No, I got this for the wedding, unless you left it at my house at the wedding.
I think I left it at your house at the wedding.
Oh, I thought someone gifted this to me. Well, I'm wearing your shirt.
That's my shirt. I'm putting this in the bloopers.
Okay.
I love that shirt. I bought it at Wegmans, okay?
Can I tell you, honestly?
You don't even know where you get your stuff.
What?
So you don't even know where you get your stuff.
No. I have a story about this shirt.
You have a story about my shirt?
Well, kinda.
This is staying in the episode.
So, I'm not kidding with this shirt. So I like was packing up all like the stuff like after the wedding, and this was like with like the gifty stuff that I had gotten the night before with you girls, and I was like, I remember coming. This is going to be so funny because now it has context. I came home and after I was sorting through everything, and I had like my gifts that you girls had all given me the night before set aside, and this was with it. And I remember pulling it out, and I was like, "Who gave me this shirt?" And I sat there dumbfounded, and it says, "Where I want to be," and then our city that we live in. And I'm like, why?
And it's got heart around it.
And I'm like, why did someone give me this at the wedding? This is a weird gift. I have been married for almost 2 years. Oh, exactly almost 2 years. We were like a month and a half shy from 2 years. I've had this shirt this whole time, thinking that someone gave it to me as a wedding gift.
No. I am dead. And the best part about it is I'm over here and I'm looking at the shirt. I'm like, this is my shirt. And I'm like, I really like that shirt. Well, apparently I don't like it enough to realize it's been missing for 2 years.
My stomach hurts. I'm laughing so hard.
Oh my God. That's great. That's great.
Talk about a mom moment.
Oh God, you're not kidding.
Okay.
Oh. And you know what? We can bring this full circle because at your wedding, I had like a 4-month-old? So it was definitely a mom moment.
This is a mom moment. Yeah. So hard. Well,
oh my goodness.
Now I know I didn't get the shirt for my wedding.
It was not a gift. You can borrow it for 2 years if you want.
Back. It's a good thing I didn't cut this off and make this a cutoff, because that's what I tend to do with my old shirts, because I've been sleeping in this.
I would have been so sad if I showed up and you were wearing that shirt and you had cut it up, and I would have been like, I let you borrow my shirt and you cut it up. You were like, you didn't let me borrow it. It was a wedding gift. Oh my God, I'm dead. Okay. Oh, that's too funny. Okay. Well, I think that it's time that we introduce our guests with an S.
We have 2
for tonight. I'm so excited.
This is an exciting episode, and I feel like we are going to come completely full circle, and we are going to truly be Mom Talks with My Sister tonight.
Yeah, we are. Today's guests are sisters, just like us. Holly, mother of 3, and Melanie, mother of 2. Today, they will be sharing their experience of being caregivers and mother figures for other people's children at daycare, also while raising their own children. Holly described herself as a licensed daycare provider with New York State that has a daycare in her home. She has 3 children of her own and enjoys spending time with her family, camping, and watching them play sports. She loves the Adirondacks and boating. She loves children and has spent her entire adult life caring for them in some way, including as a preschool teacher, as a nanny, and now as a daycare provider. She loves watching a child discover something new for the first time. Melanie is her assistant, and she loves working with her sister. They consider themselves lucky and a lot alike. Melanie has 2 children and enjoys spending time with them. She has also worked in a daycare center and spent time as a nanny. Without further ado, we are so excited to welcome our first sister interview, Holly and Melanie. Welcome to Mom Talks with My Sister.
Thank you.
Yay!
I'm so excited.
It's so nice to be here.
I'm so happy that you guys agreed to do this. This is going to be so awesome.
It's going to be so much fun.
I mean, we maybe wouldn't have if we didn't love Amanda so much.
She's hard not to love, except sometimes she steals your clothes.
Okay, so
yeah, meet Melanie. Meet Melanie.
This is going to be the perfect interview.
Meet Melanie. Yep.
Okay, so we will tell you guys that we discovered something about the shirt that I am wearing right now, but I'm not going to tell you the story. I'm going to let you guys listen to your episode to hear the story of this shirt. Okay, it's unbelievable.
Perfect.
But this is so exciting, and I think we're gonna have so much fun tonight, because I explained to everybody, I'm like, you guys don't understand. I don't have like daycare providers. I don't have like babysitters. Like, I have the perfect sister combination that is literally just like me and my sister.
Awesome.
So
awesome.
Awesome. So I think I want to kind of start this, like, so you guys have been involved with kids like forever. Did you guys like always know growing up that you guys were gonna 1, work together, or 2, always wanted to do something with kids together?
I don't think so. No.
I knew in high school that I wanted to be with kids. That's when I started taking my early childhood class at BOCES, and went from there. Went right to a daycare and then a nanny. and then a daycare, and now another
Yeah.
daycare.
I did not. I loved kids, but I was going to be a psychologist, and I went to St. John Fisher and started my college career, and that's what I was going to do. And things changed, and college ended, and I stopped going and decided, what am I going to do now? I have to find a job if I'm not going to college, and ended up at was like, wow, I love 3-year-olds, so let's do this. And that's kind of where we started. And then Mel started working with me, but she was the one who was entering into the child care path, and I was not, but it quickly turned.
It's fun. We had fun together.
Yeah.
So we knew we would be able to work together.
Did you guys decide when you guys left childcare that you guys were going to do your own thing, or?
Kind of. I was like, here's the deal. If we both want to work in childcare still and have kids, we can't afford to pay for daycare and be a daycare, like work in a center. Because, that was, almost 20 years ago, 15 years ago when we, at least, and daycare providers, now it's a little better, but they made no money. Like, I mean, back then, I think it was like $7.50 an hour. And we were like, look, if we're going to have kids, we can't afford to do this. So what's the next plan? We love kids. We love our kids. We want to be home with them. So then we just said, okay, we'll do it in our home. So.
And I was the funny aunt for the first few years because I didn't have kids. So
I bought the house and started the daycare. Otherwise, if it was reversed, she would have, and I would have been helping her. So.
That's awesome. It's funny because multiple interviews that we've done, the cost of childcare seems to come up all the time. I know my best friend right after high school, she worked at a daycare. And when she told me that she was making minimum wage and I was making more than her working at the mall, I was like, wait, but you're responsible for people's babies. And she's like, yep. I'm like, I can't wrap my head around that.
Yeah,
and then
it's
to
hard.
know that and I mean, I don't pretend to know the cost of running a daycare, but to know that when you're looking at a facility and you have way more kids than you guys would at home, where is how are you not paying your workers more?
Right,
where is the cost? Where's
it's
all of that money
issue.
going?
And especially in New York State. And I think the biggest thing is all the regulations and insurance in New York State. So center insurance is just, it's huge. But I remember when we did work at a center and we would go to grab lunch at a pizza place or a fast food place, and there'd be a sign that they were hiring for $10 an hour. And we're like, I mean, no disrespect, but yes, we have a lot of people's children in our care and we are not even making that standard. That's what's hard. But I do think there's been a shift since then. Not as much, but there's a lot of New York State programs and grants and different things that have tried to get equal pay for them. But yeah, it's crazy. You're right. Where's the money going?
Which also is when I realized that I wanted to work with Holly. Because I worked with some women that seemed like they didn't even really like kids very much. And I got frustrated because I was like, go work at McDonald's.
Right. Right. Don't work here then. Yeah. You're not getting paid millions of dollars, so don't do it,
For sure.
We love kids, so we stayed.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine being somebody that's I don't love kids with every ounce of my being and getting involved in that type of work. And not for nothing, as a parent, that's kind of terrifying to think about too, right?
Yes. Yeah. So we just got second jobs to supplement the income, and I waitressed, and
I could babysit on the weekend for a couple of families and make my whole paycheck. From 2 nights of babysitting.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. Yeah. But it was so fun. And it definitely led us in this path. And now, we have sustainable incomes and can help support our families. But then if we didn't do that, I don't think I would have at least done this in my house, and without knowing the reward of the children with all the hard work that goes into it. You know what I mean? So it all happens for a reason.
So that kind of leads me into one of the biggest questions that I have for you is, how do you handle taking in infants? Because a lot of the times you're going to have an infant, like with Amanda's daughter, for instance, she came to you very young and, you're essentially co-raising these children. You know, you're spending sometimes 40 hours a week, sometimes it's part-time, but either way, you're watching these kids grow up and you're playing such a big role in helping them learn skills, potty training, manners, and just watching them grow. And then they age out or they go to school in a different district and they're not with you anymore. How do you handle that? Because it's like, you know,
sad, yeah.
It's sad
It is sad.
sometimes.
It is sad. You know, and all the kids are awesome, but there is always the kids that like are with us more, or that like they're here longer. They're from the beginning, like a kid that comes from an infant all the way through. When they leave us, it's horrible. We have one leaving at the end of the week, and I have like been in denial that she's leaving because she's out of district, because where I live I get a lot of kids that are out, we call them out of district kids, so we know when they go to kindergarten we're losing them. Where the kids, we don't really have a turnover here, and we keep them until they go to middle school. I mean, that's just the way that it is for us. They don't leave us. So by then they're old enough that we're like, all right, now you're in middle school. Now you're driving us crazy. So go to middle school, like, you know, but the ones at 5, we're like, wait, we're not done with you yet. You know?
Yeah.
It's hard. It's very hard.
Amanda would be an out of district kid for you. And I know my daycare provider, my son's out of district for her. So, and our brother, his kids are also at a daycare, an in-home daycare that's out of district. So it's like,
hard.
We're sticking with, you know, our people for 5 years, but then it's going to be like such a loss for us too.
Right.
Like,
Well, we're going to find Amanda a house in the district, because she's not going to take her daughter from us.
I don't think my daughter's going to allow me to take her from you guys.
She will actually, you know, she'll just make Melanie's daughter come babysit her. That will just be what we'll do. Yeah, that's what we'll do. True. But yeah, it is really hard, and it's hard on the parents too, because they haven't, you know, other places, maybe a child goes to a daycare center and then they go to a YMCA program and then they might get on the bus with a teenager, but parents that do in-home daycare especially, they don't take their kids. So that's hard for the parent. I mean, you have to now at age 5 find somebody to trust with your kids all over again, and it's a big deal, you know, to do that. So
it really is. And I mean, all three of us, me, Amanda, and our brother Corey, we all use in-home daycares, and not, you know, definitely not to put down centers at all. Like, I know plenty of people who use them. They're great, but it's just, it's one of those things that I feel like is not as personal as being in someone's home, just strictly because this is your home. Like, you're letting our family into your family's like sacred space. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's your home. So it's just, it gives that personal element, and it gives you that more intimate feeling, I feel like, with the providers, and it makes you feel more like family, which makes it even harder to leave.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So
that probably is the hardest thing maybe about being daycare moms, is that it is in my home. So I do have to like separate my family from daycare, from their family. Like, I think that is hard for me, especially, to try to do that. But now it's just kind of been a way of life that my kids are like, oh yeah, the daycare kids are here. Like, they love it too, most of the time.
Other times they're like, all right, can you get these kids out of my house, please?
Yes, exactly. She's in my room.
It's so funny, because this was like leading me into like my next question is, what is it like, and how has it changed, I guess, for you guys as like, you know, Holly, you had kids when you started, and then Melanie, you started a family after you guys started the daycare. Like, so how has it changed with your kids being obviously babies into toddlers, into, you know, the grown-ups that, you know, your kids are now? They're not grown-ups, but you know what I mean? They're
let's just
teenagers.
say that my son came and sat on my lap today because there was another child on my lap, and had to say, that's my mommy still.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my
So
God,
the hardest
so
part was for our children, I think, to have to share us, you know?
Sure.
Yeah. Which had good perks and not so many perks that they were with us, you know? So.
But you know what? Not many, I almost feel like even your story that you just said, not many parents will get that at, the age that your son is at, that they're not going to get that. And you got that today where it's like, just
right. That's true. That's a good point. That's good. The other 8-year-olds aren't sitting on their mom's lap saying, that's my mom,
Right.
I think the boys
7.
had a harder, 7, sorry, he's not 87. I think the boys had a harder time sharing us than the girls, for sure. I mean,
really?
boys love their mommies.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely do.
Yeah.
And boys, they're aggressive. So it definitely has happened where our sons have pushed a child off of our lap to sit on our lap at age 2 and 3 and not 7, but maybe 6.
Yeah.
That's so
Yes,
sweet.
my daughter was never like that. No, she just liked the kids.
Yeah, the girls just love the kids.
They just played with the kids.
They want to play mom. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. That's what they loved. But the boys, they were like, this is my mom, guys.
I love that. I wouldn't have known that. If we didn't have this conversation, I never would have guessed that.
Oh, yeah. They jealousy, huge jealousy.
For sure.
This kind of leads me into a question that I didn't even think about until just now. When I was growing up, I was friends with a girl whose mom did in-home daycare. And all of the kids that she did daycare with called her by her first name. And so they called her Amy. And I never understood why my friend's oldest sister called their mom Amy. And I was like, why doesn't she call her mom?
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know. The other kids just called her Amy. So she called her Amy. And I was just like, but she did all the way. And I'm sure still to this day, as a grown adult, she probably just calls her mom Amy. And like, I never thought about like the actual impact of having other kids in your home around your kids and like how that could impact them being raised until just now.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, so you think about it, you don't have to really worry about other children's personalities with your kids until they are in a daycare, in school. Our kids had other personalities around them all the time, like all day long, lots of different personalities in their houses. So yeah, it was hard sometimes.
Yeah.
But other times it was good. I mean, like Melanie's daughter's best friend is Amanda's daughter. And they are buddies. Like they are friends. So
yeah. Which I love. Cool.
Yeah.
And for me too, like, because I've always been very open that we're not doing anymore. We're one and done. That's what we planned on and it worked and we're good and we're happy. And I have not gotten baby fever. And I feel like now 3 years down the road, it's not coming. I'm good. We're
good. You're good. That's good. That's good.
But it, like, for me, I love watching the friendship and like the family that I feel like she has developed with you guys, and especially Melanie with your daughter, because I mean, she comes home and she talks about her all the time. And it's just like, for me, it's like, that's almost like having a sibling kind of, like
it is. Yep. We have another little boy here who's an only child. We have a couple that are only children and will remain only children. And it's good for them. I mean, they're going to have schoolmates and teammates, but they have close connections here at a young age. And that's important. And that I think it does help them. They are like family together. So they fight like siblings, they get along like siblings. And I think it's really good for kids, especially the only children. I never really thought about that either. So
yeah, it's a great connection. I love it.
It is.
So while we're on the topic of family, I think that I really want to dig deep into what is it like working with your sister every day?
Do you want us to fight? Are you trying to get us to fight?
Amanda and I, we did work together. And actually, Amanda was my boss. But we didn't work for more than just a couple of hours. We bartended together. And we would work a couple of hours at shift change. But then we didn't work together beyond that. So I kind of know what it's like to work with my sister, but also it was not all day, every day, right?
Right.
So, what is that like? Is it, I mean, I'm sure there's aspects of it that are awesome. There are probably
do you want the good or the bad? Melanie can go first. Let's see what she says first. Your turn, Melanie.
Perfect. She's totally setting her up. She's like, I'll make my answer depending on yours.
I'll choose. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I do love it. There's also times where you bicker.
We're sisters.
you're right. I'm wrong for 5 seconds and move on. But no, I do love coming here every day. I love being here. I love the kids. I love working with Holly. I don't think we have any major problems. We
I
just
feel
bicker.
like in maybe 10 years, we've had like one fight that's mattered. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Like really one. But yeah, I mean, we bicker because we've always bickered because I am bossy.
Holly thinks she's always right.
I am most of the time.
Wait, can I ask, what is the age difference between you guys?
We're 4.5 years. I'm
So almost
younger.
exactly like us.
I'm older. I'm
younger.
older than Melanie. Yes, I'm the middle child. So we have an
Same.
older sister. See, she knows. Are you always right?
The middle child is always right, and they have to do it, right? They're the somebody. Somebody has to do this in the family.
I love this so much. See, you guys, it's so funny because Bethany is Holly for sure. And our only difference, because we are 5 years apart, but I'm the oldest and Bethany's the middle child. We always say she's the middle child.
So your brother's the youngest.
So we have brother and then our handicapped sister, Allison.
Right. So she's actually the youngest. Gotcha.
Yeah. But
so you don't have the baby thing, but
I am actually 100% middle child.
Yeah.
I was 3 of 5.
Oh,
Gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah.
Gotcha.
So there was you know what, you are 100% middle child. I'd never even really thought about that. She's true middle child.
True.
It's a whole thing. I remind them of it all the time. It's a whole thing. So I mean, I think that the bad thing is that we are always together. So like on the weekends when you normally would call your sister and go do something, we don't always do that because we're like, we've seen each other all week. We do it a lot, I think, but I do think we would do more together on the weekends if we weren't together for 50 hours during. I mean, we also not only work together, we're here from 7:30 to 5:30 together. So I think a lot of times we're like, even our kids are like, why aren't we going there? I'm like, well, we just saw, we're fine. But we don't just get just that family dynamic because we do miss out. But we still take family vacations.
Yeah, we do family vacations. And I definitely try to be more cautious that I want to be with Holly's kids more because it is just daycare when they see me. You know, I want to be able to make memories with them and do things with them as well.
Right.
So especially as they're getting older, I feel like I need to make more time for them because I just seeing them here isn't enough. I mean,
if you want to take them home with you, you can anytime. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is we do get to work together and we do get to be sisters and we are successful because of that. We're successful because Melanie compliments me and I compliment Melanie. There's things I don't do during a day and there's things she doesn't do during a day and it just works.
When we work with someone else, I miss her because we pick each other up where, you just know that, we're cleaning the kitchen. We're going to go clean the kitchen. You just, Holly needed that. I'm going to do,
Melanie's doing the diapers. I'm taking the kids outside. We don't have to talk about it.
We just have it down and we don't have to talk. We can just do it.
We just do our stuff and the kids have fun and it's fine. But when somebody else is with us, we're like, but Melanie just does that. I don't know who needs diapers. Melanie knows who needs diapers. I don't know who needs clothes. That's not what I do.
This is so true too, because there's been times that I've picked up my daughter and one of you will say oh, well, I don't think that she told you this, but I know that she's not going to tell you this. So here, let me just make sure I tell you this. And it does, and it works. And it works.
It does.
Yeah.
I start the day, so I greet all the parents. So I don't always see them at the end of the day, especially now my kids are in high school and middle school and they're doing sports. So I'm typically the one that leaves a half hour before daycare. So I think that works too, because she gets to connect with the parents at pickup and I get to connect with them at drop off. And I think that's important. So that kind of works too. I mean, sometimes at the end of the day, she might be like, I wish I was leaving at 5, not 5:30, but
I can understand that.
Yeah.
But I wasn't here at 6:30.
But she wasn't here at 6:30 with the first child.
I really don't like mornings. I don't like mornings. So I'm better in the evening to talk to anyway.
It's true.
It works out perfectly.
It just works.
It works out perfectly. In that aspect, we are the opposite of you guys, where I am such a morning person, where it's my alarm will go off. And for the most part, I'm like, oh, all right, it's 4:45. Let's get this day started.
Gosh.
But my sister... look at her face right now.
Yeah, look at us. All of us are looking at you like that.
I know. It's It's a blessing and a curse. But listen, by the time it gets to be like 8 o'clock, and if people haven't like done things with their day by 8, I'm like, you guys have missed half of your day. I'm not really sure what you're doing, but half the day is gone already.
I'm over here and I'm like quickly putting makeup on at my desk at work, like hoping no one walks in, because I'm like, I didn't have time because I didn't wake up.
Yes, exactly.
That's
exactly.
funny. Well, I have to be a little bit of a morning person, but I don't like do my shower or get dressed until nap time.
Yeah.
First of all, because I'm gonna get puked on, pooped on. Paint. I have blue paint in my hair, and I went to my son's 6th grade orientation like that, and I had no idea. I didn't
I went home
know
and showered
because I had a funeral service. I came back to daycare. We did body painting. I'm at his locker, and my oldest daughter comes up from volleyball practice, and she looks at me and she goes, "Mom, you have blue paint in your hair, really?" I'm so sorry. I had no idea. So
She's
see,
like,
it's better. And I showered first thing this morning. Bad idea because I had blue paint. If I had showered at 2, no, wouldn't have happened.
when I woke up today. I was like, nope, they're painting bodies, so I'm not showering.
Yeah, so I don't get myself going in the morning. Amanda will tell you, she's like, yeah, Holly's in her PJs half the time at 7:30 a.m.
Honestly, half the time though, I'm like, oh man, you look so comfy. Can I just hang out here today?
I know.
Like,
I do get to take your daughter in the recliner for 10 minutes, and it is pretty nice.
Yeah,
she gets so jammed up. If like the early kids get so jammed up, if somebody else comes early that doesn't normally, they're like, I sit with Miss Holly.
It's crazy how they all get in their schedules and like they know what they want, they know what they do, and it's like, don't mess with it.
Yep, exactly.
So on this topic, I think this is a really good segue into how do you guys get alone time? Because you're talking about like sun up to sunset, and you guys like, you know, doing all these different things during the day, plus now your kids have sports, and you are talking about how like, you know, you don't necessarily hang out on the weekends because you spend 50 hours a week together during the weeks. Like, how do you guys make time for doing stuff for yourself, like as a mom, but also as like an individual to be like, I'm still me. I love these kids more than anything, but I need time for me. How do you guys handle that?
Do you have me time?
No. My husband and I try to have an hour alone in the evening to talk, like once the kids go to bed. So they know if they don't go to bed, I turn into a monster. I really do. I start yelling at them. My patience is completely gone. So after 8 o'clock, if they don't go to bed, I get upset. But
see, that's still not alone time, because now you got to have time with your husband, which sounded bad. No, but you're right. Like there really isn't a whole.
No, because it's always that I have like that hour and a half in the evening, and it's just. Yeah. But it's both of us. It's not. Like...
Sometimes when my kids have away games and they're an hour, and other parents are like, I can't believe we had to drive an hour, like all the way in for volleyball. And I'm like, I got to drive a whole hour, and I listen to my music. And for me, that's when I get my alone time.
Yes, I do grab my keys fast and said, I'll do pickups because I know I am alone in the car.
Yeah. Like that. When we go to pick up from school, it sounds silly, but it's 15 minutes. Like it's just finding those little pieces of time by yourself that's when
it's hard to find.
And I think that, I mean, obviously having your house full of kids from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed, like that makes it even harder for you. But I think moms in general, right? Like we're all just trying to find 15 minutes alone. When we logged on tonight, like Amanda and I, we were chatting, she was like, I'm sorry, I'm just really quickly painting my nails. And I was like, oh my God, I almost really quickly painted mine. But instead I decided to grab a book and read for 5 minutes. Because,
like you just find it. You find it. You somehow find it.
And you have to steal it. And you have to be like, okay, what do I want to do that I'm putting off, you know? And it's just like, but that car ride, I feel that.
And I think you're right. I think it's all moms. Like, I mean, it's not just us with other people's kids. It's all moms. I mean, I've talked to my friends before when the first time we went, like after we had kids and they were little and, you know, you really were with them all the time, or you were on maternity leave and you didn't leave them, and you went to the grocery store alone and you were like, like I'm in Wegmans getting a coffee.
The very first time that I was in my car without my son after I had him, I was going out to dinner with Amanda. And I remember I was like, my music was really low and I kept looking in my rearview mirror to like see if like look at him in his car seat. He wasn't there. Right. And I was like, wait a second. I can turn my radio up.
Yes,
And
it's
I
loud.
tried. I felt like such a rebel. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So funny. But then when we do have too much alone time, we're like, wait, we got to go get our kids.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so we don't want it that bad. Yeah, I guess.
Right. Especially now that your kids
The
are getting
alone
older.
time, actually, I feel like it's harder now that my kids are older
Yeah.
than when they were little. But
Well, that's because you're in the window. So we're in the teenage years now. And now we're like, do you guys want to watch a movie with us? And they're like, we're going to binge watch our own Netflix on our own TV. Like, it just.
I mean, my son follows me everywhere I go on the weekends, and he never lets me have any alone time. My daughter, like, sometimes, you know, she'll do her own thing and not follow me places. She'll make her bracelets or be on her iPad, but William follows me everywhere I go.
People say, ladies, we have to appreciate it while we have it, right?
It's funny because like when you're talking about your son like following you around, and you know, you had said earlier too that, you know, boys love their mamas and stuff like that. I was snuggling my son today, and I looked at him and I said, come on, me have a kiss? And he turned around and gave me a kiss right on the lips. And then I got thinking about it, and I looked at my husband and I said, when am I supposed to stop kissing him on the lips? Like, at what age does it get weird? Do I say that like 4 or 5 years? And my husband, he's like, I think like Logan probably still kisses Chris. I was like, he's 10. No, he doesn't.
No. I think Owen maybe like around 10, like did the whole, you know, it just like sighed their cheek to you. And I was like, whoa, what was that? He's like, what? You kissed me? But that's about the time. 9, 10. William will stop kissing you soon, just so you know.
My son
you still get kisses.
Like, you know,
okay.
Kiss me all over my face, and my husband will be like, all right, that's enough. That's weird. Yeah.
They love their mommies.
Yeah. Well, that makes me feel good, because I was over here thinking I had like 3 to 4 years left, but I'm good.
You got time. You got time.
So, okay, so speaking of spending time with the kids, Amanda actually told me that you guys do a pretty cool staycation like tradition every year. Would you mind sharing a little bit about what you guys do, like to have family time, but maybe not a huge giant getaway? Because I love this idea.
So we do. We go to the hotel always on New Year's Eve. We always do the hotel. And then like when we're off for a break, like February break or something, and the kids we don't really get, when people are normally off of school, yes, they usually go somewhere or do something fun. And we're always like, sorry guys, we have daycare. So Kelly and I try to do that, or my other friend, and we go stay at just like in 10 minutes down the road and somewhere with a pool, and just so our kids are still feeling like a break was a break for them, which has always been nice. But they were always little, so I don't know how long I'm going to get away with holiday. I don't know.
You're like, listen, it's time to go somewhere, Mom. Like,
yeah, Mom, we know now we're just driving around the block.
But I love that, because it's just like, you don't have to do something elaborate, because there are so many times where I've thought about like, I want to take him on a trip, but I'm like, first of all, I can't afford that. Second of all, I don't know that I can afford that stress, let alone that financially. So when she told me about that idea, I was like, fun. Let's do it.
Yeah. And that's all they want to do. Like, what does it matter if you're taking a big trip or you're in a hotel? And I mean, when you think about being little, like that was so fun to just be in a hotel or order pizza or go to the pool and come back and like sleep in bed with other people, like with your mom, or like that stuff's just so fun when they're little to do that kind of stuff. We've done it for their birthdays before, decorated the hotel room and stuff, and that's always a good time.
I love that. I literally love that. And it gets you out of your work and home all at once.
Right. Yep.
For everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely do it. My oldest daughter's yelling at me because before the funeral service today, I used her mousse. See, teenagers.
This is real life things. Yeah, I know.
Teenagers.
I know. I'm stressing it hard, and I have a 3-year-old, and I'm stressing it hard.
Yeah, well, you already have a teenager. She already accessorizes.
She accessorizes better than me.
she went out for ice cream today with grandma, and grandma sent a picture, and she's got her bracelets and her rings, and she's got her perfect pink ice cream. And I'm like, what am I going to do with you? Like, I love it so much, but
You
oh my
do,
God, what am I going to do with you?
Yeah.
But she really is so fabulous. She can keep a ring on her finger all day long. That's big for her. Like, can keep it on. She just keeps it on all
I
day.
mean, do you know how many kids we take bracelets away from? Like when they come in, we're like, oh, that's really pretty. Let's put it in your bag so you don't lose it. Because 5:30 is going to roll around and Melanie and I are going to want to be done working. We're going to have to search for a bracelet for 35 minutes. Or B, it's going to break. Or C, a baby's going to choke on it. But not your daughter. We don't ever make her put it away because she's going to keep that thing right there. And when she's done with it, she's going to be like, can you put this in my bag?
Can't lose it. Can't lose it.
She is so protective of her jewelry. She was over here last weekend, and I felt really bad because my son grabbed her bracelet and pulled, and it was like a little elastic one with the beads, right? And all of a sudden, snap, beads everywhere.
Yeah.
She was on her hands and knees looking for these beads. And I'm like, it's fine, girl. Like, we'll get your beads. We'll fix your bracelet. And I had a little bag, and I was like, let's put them in here, and then we'll fix it. And she just kept saying, we can fix it. And I was like,
yeah, she repeats things like that too. Okay. She
I
talks
had no
herself through a lot of
intention
stuff.
of fixing it. I fixed it right into the trash when she wasn't looking.
Because that's also the thing. Her attention span, once it's in the bag you put away, you can get rid of that.
Yes, then you can move
She's
on.
got more.
Yeah.
She does so
You
much
have
more.
no idea. She's got a whole vanity here.
She opened her
Oh my
birthday
God.
gift, and it was bracelets. There was 3 of them in the pack. Well, she got them all on, and another child broke one, and she was so sad. She said, "Get my present! She was so sad because she knew that was a birthday present.
I mean, if we could just make it a rule, like, don't touch her stuff.
Obviously, no one
You know
touches
what,
it at home.
I'm just going to say, it's probably good that you were one and done because she is a diva.
She is.
I mean,
is,
in the best way, but she doesn't want to
That's
share.
right.
No. Well, she
we're
doesn't want to
working.
share because she knows they're going to break it.
Yeah.
She's like, listen, I can take care of my things.
So funny.
Well, she's definitely your daughter. She is definitely your daughter.
Oh, she's
That's great.
fabulous. Yeah. I
She's
mean,
fabulous.
I'm not quite as fabulous as she is, but she got some of it from me. Just all things pink and glitter and girly, and it's the best.
I'm so excited that she's going to be a cheerleader because
She
I
is.
wanted my daughter to be a cheerleader, and she does not want to be a cheerleader at all. But I mean, I think
She tried with my kids too. They were like, no, Aunt Melanie,
No.
we're not cheerleaders. We play basketball.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we're gonna definitely try. She loves that whole just like dance and gymnastics,
does.
and
I can't wait for her to go. I'm going to go to one of her competitions.
I'm not going to be like the mom on this, like the crazy mom on the sidelines. It's going to be you, Melanie. You're going to be the crazy
She's
mom.
going to be like, I'm waiting for this.
She's gonna have a shirt with her face on it, and she's gonna be like, "I'm here for her."
Yes.
Yeah.
She looked at her. She's like, what's wrong with that? Is something wrong with that?
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's fabulous. So fun.
I love that so much. So okay, you guys kind of mentioned, we were talking about this. You mentioned like the kids with the jewelry and like having to put it away and like different things that you guys have learned over the years. Like, do you guys have like secret like tips or tricks that you can tell other moms out there that maybe you've learned with all of your experience, things that you're like, don't actually do this, do it this way, or like, hey, try this?
I think we do, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like we feel bad if we tell moms sometimes that. Like, I think the biggest thing is you can tell your kids no. Like, you can.
Okay.
It's okay. It's okay if they cry. It's okay if they throw a fit. It's okay. Like, and as a mom before daycare, like, I don't even know if I would have known that because it's hard to see your own kid cry. We have a hard time seeing kids at daycare cry, but let me tell you, there's a lot of kids and they cry and they're okay. Like,
Right.
you know, we probably have to tell kids no, I mean, every 10 minutes, but
Right.
it's hard for a parent to know that. Like, they don't have to bring 3 toys to daycare. You can tell them no. They don't have to be the first one in the car or whatever, you know, like, they don't have to have the certain water bottle, they can have this one or whatever it may be. You can tell kids no. I think it's probably my biggest thing.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I don't know what advice to give until there's a situation. But yes, you can say no to them. And it's honestly better to say no to them at a younger age because then there's less fits.
Yeah.
But
That's true.
2-year-olds and 3-year-olds, they don't like the word no. So they don't really care what you're saying to them.
And you don't even have to say no. I mean, if you want to, say you can do this instead or whatever. But I think kids nowadays, especially, it's so hard for parents to make their kids upset. But they're not making them upset. They're teaching them how to self-regulate. And that's really the bottom line is kids need to know how to self-regulate. And when they're just given everything because they're going to cry, they have no idea how to self-regulate. And they can't enter into a social situation. And they can't do well in school because even as they grow older, they can't self-regulate. And that is taught at age 1, 2, and 3. It's not taught at age 10. So I think that's the biggest thing is just help your kids learn how to self-regulate would be my advice.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and I like that, you also brought in that not like, you don't have to say no. Cause I know that's a big parenting philosophy nowadays too, is like finding a different word other than no, but like to that self-regulation that you're talking about, I think is a really great way to put it. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they really do need to learn how to do that. So
I think that that's probably hard for a lot of them too, actually, because they're not with them all day long and they have that guilt, and they do have to get out of the house in the morning. So I mean, and I get all that too from being a mom. But I think it's got to be really hard for them to drop their kids off and not want to make them happy before they leave because that's the start of their day and they have that guilt, So
that's true.
Yes, that is good advice though, for sure.
So off of that, do you have any memorable advice that you've learned from parents, like of the children that you watch?
Yes, I think
some from my very first job at a daycare. I feel like I've learned things from them before I had my own kids. Yeah, I think so.
I think like I've learned that not everything has to run smoothly. Not everything has to be perfect. Like, I don't have to get my kids out the door, but I do sometimes, so I think other parents have taught me that like life is messy. Kids, it's hard for them to understand it all. And we've had, other parents that have gone through divorces and gone through different things, and no family is perfect and no dynamic is perfect. And you just love your kids. And I think that's what, especially when we worked at, I think that taught us that, like, just love your kids.
Sure.
The other stuff, don't panic over because that will work itself out if you love them. I think that's because we babysat for a lot of families. And I think at the end of the day, that was probably the biggest lesson I got from them.
And I still, mainly through Facebook, but talk to a few of the families, and I feel like they actually give me, they're like, you're a great mom. I knew you were going to be a great mom, but it's just nice to see that I raised their kids too, and they're such great kids, and
right,
that we still talk. I mean, the one might have a beard and is a sophomore in college, but I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But I run into him in the doctor's office. So see, it's still, yeah.
I've definitely had moms teach me how to be more organized with my kids. I'm not super organized all the time. And I've gotten like mom tips on like just different plans to lay or planners to use or how to be early and not late. And that's my biggest thing.
I have to say from Holly, I've learned that you don't have to have everything perfect. Just spend time with your kids.
Yeah.
Like I like to have things lined up. I like to have everything perfect. I need to know what's happening next. And I wish that I would have let that go a little bit, when my kids were really young, because now they're getting older and I just feel like, missing out on things because I got to clean the house or I got to do this or that. So I try to take that advice from Holly because time's short with them.
Yeah.
So
like the laundry basket can sit on the couch for 2 days. It's okay.
I've learned that from her.
Yes.
Your kids can come to the laundry basket when they need the clothes.
Yeah. You don't have to put socks in the drawer matching.
Yeah, you do.
No,
That
you don't.
I
You
don't.
then have
I
a
don't.
family sock basket that they all pick their socks out of.
I don't.
We
I
had
don't
that
take
growing
that
up.
We had that growing up.
Mom, where are my socks? In the sock basket.
In the sock basket. I don't got time for this. Like all the things I do in a day, so I could either have a glass of wine at 9 p.m. and watch a show, or I can fold your socks. What am I choosing? The blue basket. That's what I'm choosing. It stresses my mom and Melanie out so bad they can't handle it. Sometimes my mom will get all disgusted with me. She'll be like, I'm gonna match up your socks.
She does. When she's here at nap time, she flips the basket and she's like, this is ridiculous. Starts matching up all the socks.
I'm sorry, Mom. I'm pretty sure we had laundry piles when I was little too.
Yeah, we did. Remember the laundry room? Yes. I know, Mom's very judgy too. Like she's like, oh, your dishes aren't done right now. Well, you know what, Mom?
There's
You
45 kids in my house.
You didn't get the dishes done at home when we were younger until Holly did them.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That makes the story
You
that
get
much
that,
better. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh
great.
my God. This is so great because this is like, there's so much of what you're saying is like kind of very similar to what we grew up with. Like, if I could express to you our laundry room growing up, I think there's our mom has been moved out of this house for, I don't know what, 5 years now or so. There's probably still laundry in that laundry room from us. Like piled up to the ceiling, like the entire, like, it was a huge laundry room. Yes. And like to the ceiling. And
the laundry room, that's more room to not do the laundry.
Yes.
Yeah. My mom will be like, well, Holly, if you would wash, dry, fold, put away.
Yeah.
Like,
she never did.
Well, I run down the stairs, put a load in, go do circle time, come back out, go back. No, I'm not. Come on. Who's got time for that? Wash, dry, fold, put
Ain't
away
nobody
stuff.
got time for that.
No, literally
Nobody's
no one.
exactly. Nobody's
So
got time.
that's how Holly gets her alone time. She doesn't fold the socks.
Yes, there we go. That's it, Melanie.
That's how.
That's my final answer. I don't fold the socks. I don't even match them.
This is literally perfect.
So funny. So
But
funny.
I think that we can safely say that Melanie, you are the odd man out right now because I throw all of my socks into my drawer. I don't match them. I don't fold them. I just in my drawer.
I have this weird thing where I do put the socks together. So with my daughters, her socks are matched and I put them away. My socks, I do not match them, but I put them together. So like, but I purposefully don't wear matching socks.
Socks.
Yeah.
So why do you put them together?
Okay. Well, I have a reason for that. So they're different. They're different socks, but they're the same brand. So I'd like to have the brands together, but like I can't have the same color sock together.
Oh my God, you give it up.
That's fantastic.
Because I like the feel, because I have to have matching feels, but like I can't have matching colors because it's a bad luck thing. And it's only weird if it doesn't work. And in my life, I am telling you, every time I've been like, oh, this is just a silly superstition that matching socks are bad luck. I will put matching socks on and something awful happens.
Stop
and I'm like,
it, really?
Most of the time someone dies.
Stop.
Oh my gosh. That's
Yeah, you
Like
better.
I'm not.
It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
But I just don't understand
with
why
that,
you
Juju.
put them together to intentionally wear them
I know.
apart.
Because then, like,
That's what.
because if I'm in the morning, if it's the morning and I'm like just trying to like go really quick, like instead of just like grabbing like the one that I like the ball that I put together that I know are not matching, instead I have to go through to make sure they're not matching. And I know this seems very counterproductive, but it works. It works.
Okay, so
Amanda,
all right, we'll say
it
that
works
we're
for you, honey. It works for you.
So it's 2 for 2
Holly's
because
children
Amanda
did not always have matching socks.
Never had matching socks.
So, and I was like, my kids are always going to have matching socks. My daughter was probably about 6 months old, and she's like, you did it.
Yeah.
There's no matching
I was
socks.
like, you didn't even make it to a year judging me over here with the socks. She's 6 months old. And let's talk about if my mom would stop buying colorful socks, I wouldn't even have to match them. I buy just white or black. I try to just like keep it simple.
Holly, me too.
She's a little
And
crazy.
Mom's always buying them all these packs of fun socks. And like, yeah, but then we lose the other one. And then Owen's wearing a Christmas sock with a Valentine's sock and nobody's happy. Like, stick to the athletic socks now. That's what we try to do.
We have had an in-depth conversation about t-shirts and socks tonight.
Perfect.
This is
I feel
real.
like it's very relatable.
Yes. This is a real podcast. Okay.
Sure is.
So I think if we don't have any other deep dive questions, Amanda, do you want to go to Ask a Mom?
This is my favorite segment. We are going to move into something so much fun. You guys are going to love it. It is called Ask a Mom.
Ask them out. Okay.
So we have a wheel, an actual spinning, well-working wheel. And so what we're going to do is Bethany's going to spin it, whatever number it lands on, corresponds with questions that were submitted to us by women who are not moms.
All right. So the other thing too, since all four of us are going to answer this question, we try to do short form, and I say try because we are terrible at it. But we try to answer it in like 60 or so seconds each.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Let's ask a mom. There it is. Way better. All right, question number 4. Question number 4 is submitted to us by Jill. Jill is 22, and she does want to have children of her own. Her question is simply, is it as scary as it is made out to be?
Who's going first?
So, I mean, I can go first. I'll go first.
Yeah.
I think that, yes, only because you will now spend the rest of your life scared. Scared over little things, scared over big things, scared, over dumb things, scared over whether your kids' socks match, okay? You're going to be scared of that. So it's like, and it's just like, we talk about this a lot, Amanda, Corey, and I, and like I was just telling one of my girlfriends this too, it's like they prepare you for you're going to lose sleep. They prepare you for you're going to lose personal time. They prepare you for, I don't know, everything else, poopy diapers and how bad that sucks and potty train. But nobody says to you, you're going to be scared for the rest of your life.
Yes.
You're going to be like, I'm already scared of my son getting his heart broken for the first time. He's 2. And I'm like, someone's going to break his heart. Like, what? It's irrational. It's not, though, because I care.
It's irrational, but it's not irrational.
So yes, it is. It's scary because you're constantly worried about someone else now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my answer.
I think it's a really good answer. And my first thought when I heard this question was, which part is she talking about? Because my initial went to like is she talking about the delivery part? Like, is she talking about like the scariness of like, because for me, the entire time I was pregnant, did not even think about actually like having a child after the fact. I mean, obviously I did, but I was more scared and more concerned about the delivery and how scary and how dramatic I feel like you hear horror stories, right? You hear like these awful things about the delivery aspect of it. And I went through, especially the time that I had given birth, which was the middle of COVID, where it was like a whole different aspect of scary and not knowing what to expect in a hospital. Cause it's not like you could just call somebody and be like, hey, what was it like for you giving birth during COVID, right? Like I didn't have anybody to talk to. Yeah. And everything was changing so much that like, it was just like, I don't know what to expect at all. So like, I guess my answer is going to be more towards that side of it, being that I went into like delivery with like, okay, if I can just get through, like my first part of it was like, I just have to get through the IV. I've never been in the hospital. I've never had an IV before, like where it was like, if I can, because I don't know where they're going to put it. Is it going to be my hand? Is it going to be my arm? And like where like the bend of my elbow is like, and I was like, okay, if I can get through that. And they put it in like my forearm area and I didn't even feel it. And I was like, oh, okay. But now I'm really scared for the COVID test because I've never had a COVID test. So I hear about people touching your brains and your nose. Like, what is this going to be like? So like, I'm like freaking out about that. So I get that done. And I was like, oh, okay, that wasn't that bad. And then we get into the contractions and, I'm like, all right, how bad is this going to be? And then they started. And I was like, I laughed. The first like actual contraction where it hurt, I was in the middle of a conversation and then it just came on and I started laughing because it hurt so bad. And I was like, oh, what about that epidural? And
Yeah,
they were
I'll
like,
have
okay.
that.
Yeah, I'll have that, please. 2.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so then I was freaking out about that, where I was like, oh, all right, this is going to be like terrible. And I don't know what to expect. And then they did it. And I'm not shy about this. I'm a baby. I don't like pain. I just don't enjoy it. And I was terrified and they put it in and I was like, oh, that wasn't so bad. So like for me, my answer is kind of no. I feel like people more talk about dramatic parts of things where I feel like I don't know, because I think it's maybe human nature. It's easier to complain than to talk about like, hey, that wasn't so bad, or hey, life is really good. It's just so much easier to talk about the bad things. So that's my answer.
Yeah, good answer.
Good one. I liked that.
Thanks.
Yeah. I think for me, the beginning part wasn't scary at all. I wasn't scared in the least little bit. I guess my answer to her would be, is she around other moms? I had seen my older sister give birth. So I was like, well, it looked like it sucked real bad and hurt, but it wasn't that bad. Like the outcome was, I saw her hold her son. So I think just knowing like what is next, and I am like the least anxious person, so I don't get scared a lot. But now that my kids are older, yeah, it's scary. Like it's very scary. I'm scared of their independence. I'm scared of them not being with me. When they were little, I didn't think it was that scary, to be honest, because they were with me all the time. So if you're always surrounded by them, I wasn't that scared. But now that they're not with me, it's scary. It's scary because you don't have eyes on them all the time. The world is scary right now. So for me, I am scared more now as we hit the teenage years than I have probably ever been, because I've never really been nervous or scared about it. I just always knew I wanted to be a mom, and it came and it was great and I wasn't scared. But now it's scary to trust the other people in the world around your kids, I think is what I'm the most scared about. Not even the decisions my kids will make, but the decisions other people will make around my kids, the decisions they'll be forced to make now that they're teenagers. That to me is like,
let alone driving. Like, because I think about you and you are right there staring at watching Grace drive.
Yeah, like if I thought I was even scared before, I definitely was not. Like now it's scary. So enjoy the times when they're little, when you're not as scared. Maybe if you're not now, if you're a nervous person, more things scare you, and
Great.
That's
It's just gonna get worse. Scary.
So to me, I don't think it's as scary as people think. Now I am scared, but I think if you take time to enjoy it and just take it as it comes and not worry about all the other things when they're little, it's not as scary. But Melanie will have a totally different answer about it being scary.
I was scared since I found out I was pregnant. Over every little thing. And I definitely was scared. My daughter scared me from delivery and on in her life, because she always had something wrong, like a 92 body temperature. Like, I mean, she always was sick, and just always sick. And I was nervous about everything. And I really wanted to not have a C-section, and I had to because they lost her heart rate. And I think I wasn't as scared at first because I watched people have babies and I knew it was going to hurt like hell. So like I was so prepared. I was like, this is going to hurt. It's going to hurt like hell. It's going to be fine. It'll just hurt real bad. And I guess that I've just been scared.
So the unexpected.
Yeah, the unexpected is what scares me the most. Yes. And that happens quite a bit.
Yeah. I think even to your point of like her being, sick, and like you're saying, like a 92 body temperature, we worry about fevers all the time, but then something like that where it's like it's the opposite of a fever. Like we need to hold your body temperature up. Like
that was scary. She actually had a fever of 103, and because she had ear infections. And then like 2 hours later, I took her temperature because she seriously felt like an ice cube, and it was 92.5. I messaged Holly, and she had been drinking that night. So she said, make sure you wrap her up warm. I said, I'm actually going to the hospital.
the thing is that night she had a basket of socks looking at her, and she was like, you know what? She's like, I'm gonna drink this wine instead.
Yeah, like, I don't know. She's cold, apparently.
Yeah. Basically, they scare your whole life, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. But I think
They
that,
do.
you know, it's so rewarding. So to like, I don't want to scare anyone away from it, because it is something that, you know, it's funny how we all went to different parts of it, right?
Mhm.
Like, my immediate thought was kind of like where I am now and thinking about daily things. And, you know, Amanda, you immediately went to labor delivery, because for you, that was the most scary part. Like, and it's just how you went to teenage years. And Melanie, you know, you had to deal with such a sick child. So it's like every part of it is scary, yes, but there's so many wonderful parts out of it. So it's like, yes, it is as scary as they say it is, but it's also as wonderful as they say it is. So don't let the fear scare you away from it.
Right.
Because like a haunted house is scary, and we still go and do it for fun.
Yes, exactly. I don't, but
She does not.
childbirth is less scary than a haunted house to me. Okay, just get the open girl. Don't go in and let anybody grab you in a haunted house. That's scary.
Oh, that's awesome. What an awesome way to end this one. This was awesome, guys. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having us. It was so fun.
This is perfect. Yeah. I'm so glad we got to do this. And truly, like, the amount of like appreciation I have for the two of you, it's endless. The amount of times that I have sobbed with you guys, like especially you, Holly, in the mornings when I'm feeling like I'm completely failing as a parent.
Yeah.
Like, you guys have both just picked me up and been like, you got this. So for me as a parent, to have you guys though in my life, not just to take care of my kid while I'm at work, it's so much more than that. And it's so much, it's there's so much more appreciation that I could ever explain. So I really love you guys.
You. I hope that's how all the moms feel.
I hope so too. I mean, but you're so sweet in showing that and telling us, and it's so appreciative to hear that.
And that makes a difference.
It does make a difference, yeah.
To us, it makes a difference too.
Well, and I think too, like, that's why when we were talking about interviewing, you know, who we could interview, and I was like, I would love to interview like daycare moms, because what are they if not moms to our kids when we can't be?
Right.
You know what I mean? And it is, and I think that, you know, it really does need more recognition than just daycare provider. Like, you're more than that. You are a fill-in mom when I have to be at work.
Yeah.
You know, so it's huge. It's definitely a big thing.
I remember that's what I was for years before I had kids, because I worked with kids for so many years, and before I had my own, that I was their mom during the day. You're a daycare mom, and then when you have your own, you look at it and you're like, oh, I get to keep it, and you don't know what you're going to do with it at night, because we never had these kids at night.
Yeah, we didn't know. My husband said, "You know," I go, "No, I don't.
You actually,
I leave, and their mom takes care of them. I don't know what to do with them now."
Yeah.
We only know the answers from 6:30 to 5:30. I don't know if
that's right.
But like, now it's your turn.
Yes.
That's your turn. I'll take care of them during the normal business hours.
Yes, right, exactly. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you. That was so awesome. Like, I felt like, I don't know, they were so similar to us. It was so much fun.
So similar. And I just think that they could speak volumes for, you know, anybody that may be considering having kids and not, you know, understanding what it's like to have daycare. I think lucky enough that, you know, we have been blessed with the people that we have in our lives, not just the two that we just interviewed, but also for you, like, you know, you have some amazing women in your lives too. And not even just women, but like just moms being moms when you're not there to be mom and you have to make a living. So
yeah, absolutely. And I think too, like, hopefully for people who are hesitant about daycare, like, I know that there are people who absolutely like us, we have to work. So as much as we'd love to stay home with our kids, like, we can't. But like,
Right.
I know there are women out there who feel hesitant about allowing someone else to take care of their kids during the day when they can't be there. And hopefully that just gave them a little bit of comfort to know that there are so many good providers out there that are more moms than providers. So,
You know, it kind of goes back to Joe's question that we all just answered, you know, like, is it as scary as they say it is? And to be honest, like the first time I dropped my daughter off and I went to work, I was a mess. Am I doing the right thing? Is this what I should be doing? And you know, each situation is different, but I think, you know, the scary part of leaving your child with, you know, somebody that is, I don't want to say a stranger, but somebody that is, you know, not you. Yeah, that part is as scary as it is. But if you have someone that you trust or people that you trust that you know you're doing the right thing, that are good, kind people, like the two that we just interviewed, then no, it becomes not scary anymore. And you know that your child is going to be raised as you would want to raise them if you were able to be with them all day long. And not for nothing, probably better in certain aspects, right? Like,
for sure. Do you know how many kids they've potty trained? Do you know how many kids I've potty trained?
Right.
Literally, my pediatrician, she told us when we were talking about potty training at his 2-year appointment, like, when are we supposed to start, whatever. She goes, he's a daycare kid, right? And I said, yeah. And she goes, let them do the hard work. And I was like, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, that was the best advice you ever did give me.
My pediatrician did not say that to me, but I will tell you the amount of times that I did show up to Holly's house in the morning being like, I'm sorry, she peed her pants. Like, no, man, that's not a big deal. I'm like, it is a big deal. It's no.
That's awesome. All right,
Yeah.
lady. Well, it is getting late, and I am ready for bed. It was awesome talking to you tonight. We will talk soon.
Having Mom Talks with my sister with Sisters was an amazing addition to this podcast.
We need more sisters.
We need more sisters. I agree.
I love it.
I agree.
All right, lady. Love you.
Love you too. Okay.
Bye.
Peace. Bye. Yeah, I'll try to go to sleep like this.
You would go to sleep like this. She's over here like, I don't sleep at all, but when I do, it's like I'm in a casket. Like, it gives a whole new meaning to the term I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Please note, the views and opinions shared by our guests are just that, opinions. They do not necessarily reflect our own views on topics discussed. So please keep an open mind while listening, as nothing about our podcast is meant to be hurtful or exclusive. Thanks for joining.